You open your eyes. It's pitch dark. You glance at the ceiling. You're wide awake. Again. The house is still. The world outside silent. But inside your mind, it's anything but quiet. Maybe it's a racing thought, a creaky joint, or just that familiar restlessness. And as the minutes pass, you start to wonder, why does this keep happening? If this happens to you more often as you get older, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Aging naturally changes how we sleep. Your body produces less melatonin, the hormone that helps you feel sleepy, and your sleep becomes lighter, more sensitive. What used to be deep, uninterrupted rest can start to feel fragmented. Even a whisper of discomfort or a passing worry is enough to pull you wide awake at 2 or 3 a.m. Now, for the positive part. Just because your sleep changes doesn't mean you're helpless. You still have real, practical ways to guide yourself back into rest, without frustration or fear. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 things you should absolutely avoid when you wake up in the middle of the night, and then share 3 simple, science-backed techniques to help you fall back asleep faster and more peacefully. Because you deserve better than tossing and turning in the dark. You deserve a night that restores you, not one that leaves you feeling drained and defeated by dawn. So stay with me until the end. This isn't just about sleep. It's about reclaiming calm. It's about learning how to comfort your body and quiet your mind, no matter the hour. Even if sleep feels harder lately, you can take back control, starting tonight. 1. Avoid looking at the clock. You wake up. First thing you do, you check the time. 2:47 a.m. And now, your mind is running in circles. You start doing the math. If I fall asleep in the next 10 minutes, I'll still get 4 hours. But if I don't, tomorrow's going to be awful. Suddenly, you're wide awake. Not because of noise or discomfort, but because of a simple glance at those glowing red numbers. This moment, so small, so automatic, can quietly set off a chain reaction in your body. Just seeing the time triggers a psychological shift. You move from rest to alertness, from softness to urgency. Instead of drifting back into sleep, your brain slips into planning mode, problem-solving mode, worry mode. It's not just mental. Checking the time can subtly increase your heart rate. And when your heart rate rises above 60 beats per minute, your chances of falling back into deep sleep begin to drop. That's because your body needs to be in a low, calm, parasympathetic state to re-enter unconsciousness. Something sleep scientists have confirmed again and again. But when your mind is spinning and your heart is picking up speed, you're pushing yourself further away from the very rest you're longing for. This is where a small, gentle change can make a huge difference. Turn your clock away from your bed. Drape a scarf over it. If your phone is your alarm, place it face down on a nearby table or across the room. You don't need a countdown. You need calm. Just ask Lorraine, a 74-year-old from Des Moines, Iowa. For years, she struggled with fractured sleep, often waking up and instinctively checking her bedside clock. "I thought I needed to know the time," she shared, "but it only made things worse. Once I started turning the clock around, I noticed I fell back asleep quicker. I didn't realize how much pressure that little number was putting on me." The honest truth is, knowing the exact time doesn't help you fall asleep. It often does the opposite. What you're really seeking in those dark hours isn't information. It's peace. You're not losing time when you refuse to check the clock. You're protecting your nervous system. You're preserving the fragile space between wakefulness and rest. And that choice, so simple, so small, is actually a powerful form of self-care. It might take a few nights to get used to. Old habits can be stubborn. But over time, your body and mind will learn that you're no longer a prisoner to the clock. Because your sleep is not measured by the numbers glowing on your nightstand. It's measured by how gently and lovingly you respond to your body when it needs you most. So the next time you open your eyes in the still of night, remind yourself, I don't need to know the time. I just need to feel safe. And in that quiet comfort, rest can begin to return. If this resonated with you or reminded you of someone you care about, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend and subscribe for more comforting, science-backed sleep advice designed especially for older adults. Better nights truly can begin with one small step. 2. Avoid looking at your phone. Your eyes still adjusting to the dark, your body trying to stay calm. But then, almost without thinking, you reach for your phone. Just for a second, you tell yourself, maybe to see the weather, maybe to check a message, maybe to scroll for a minute while you wait to feel sleepy again. But 5 minutes becomes 15. One article becomes 3. And before you know it, the soft silence of night has been replaced by glowing light, buzzing thoughts, and a wide-awake mind that's far from rest. It's one of the most common traps, especially now that our phones have become our calendars, alarms, flashlights, and everything in between. But in those early morning hours, that little screen is doing more harm than help. Even if you dim the brightness, the blue light from your device sends a strong signal to your brain. Wake up. This light, particularly in the blue spectrum, is known to suppress melatonin production, the hormone responsible for helping you stay asleep. Harvard Health studies have confirmed that nighttime exposure to blue light not only delays sleep, but can also reduce its overall quality. Your body reads that glow as daylight, even if it's coming from a tiny phone. And it's not just the light, it's the stimulation. One swipe leads to news, texts, memories, worries. You've opened the window to the world, when what you really needed was to close your eyes and turn inward. That small moment of distraction can jolt your nervous system awake, raise your heart rate, and pull you further from the soft, slow rhythm your body needs to fall back asleep. Your brain isn't a light switch. It doesn't snap from on to off. It needs time. It needs stillness. So tonight, consider giving your phone a bedtime too. Place it across the room or in another space entirely. If you rely on it for alarms, switch it to Do Not Disturb or Sleep Mode and disable notifications. Better yet, dust off that old alarm clock tucked away in the drawer. It won't tempt you to scroll. It might feel inconvenient at first, even a little strange. But removing the temptation gives you something much more valuable. Space. Space to breathe. Space to rest. Space to return to sleep without interference. And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about protection. You're protecting the sacred, restorative time your body needs to heal, reset, and prepare for the day ahead. In those vulnerable hours between midnight and morning, your phone has nothing new to say. But your body. It's asking for quiet, for gentleness, for rest. And you deserve to give it just that. 3. Avoid going to the bathroom unless you truly have to. You're doing everything right to protect your rest. But then, a familiar thought creeps in. Do I need to go to the bathroom? You lie still for a moment, uncertain. Then, just to be safe, you toss off the covers, sit up, and make your way down the hall. You don't really feel the urge, but it's become routine, a nightly ritual, just in case. But here's something most people don't realize. Even that small action, sitting up, walking a few steps, flicking on a light, can make it significantly harder to fall back asleep. Going from lying down to standing elevates your heart rate, increases alertness, and shifts your nervous system away from rest mode. The body senses it's time to be awake, not return to sleep. Now, to be very clear, if you truly need to go, you should absolutely go. No one should ever ignore a real urge or push through discomfort. This isn't about denial, it's about discernment. Many older adults in the US develop the habit of making nighttime bathroom trips just in case. Not because their bladder is full, but because it's part of their nighttime pattern. Over time, this habit becomes so ingrained that the mind and body associate waking up with standing up, even when nature isn't calling. Take Judith, a 76-year-old from Tucson, Arizona. For years, she woke up every night at 2 a.m. and immediately shuffled to the bathroom. "It was just what I did," she said, "but I realized I was waking myself up more than I needed to." With a little experimentation, Judith began checking in with her body instead of her habits. "Some nights I still get up," she explained, "but many nights now I stay in bed, and I sleep better because of it." So the next time you wake up and feel unsure, try pausing for a moment. Ask yourself gently, is this physical, or is this just my mind seeking something to do? If it's the latter, you may find that stillness is enough. A few slow breaths, a calming thought, a hand resting on your chest as you quietly settle back in. Often, this brief check-in is all it takes to soothe the body and guide yourself back into sleep. Of course, there are things you can do earlier in the evening to make this easier. Try to limit your fluid intake about 2 hours before bed. Create a clear, obstacle-free path to the bathroom so that if you do need to go, it's simple and non-disruptive. And if possible, use a soft amber nightlight rather than a bright overhead bulb. These small changes protect your peace while honoring your needs. Sometimes, awareness alone is powerful enough to shift habits. By recognizing when you're acting on autopilot, you open the door to new, more restful patterns. It's not about restriction, it's about intention. Each decision you make in the middle of the night either supports your rest or pulls you further from it. And the beautiful truth is, the more mindful you become, the more your body learns to trust the quiet again, to soften, to settle. Because rest isn't just something you fall into, it's something you create, step by gentle step. 4. Avoid turning on the lights. You've just made the decision, maybe after a few deep breaths, that yes, you do need to get up. And so, with careful steps, you move through the dark. But out of habit, your hand reaches for the switch. Click. Suddenly, the room is flooded with light. Bright, sharp, unforgiving. It bounces off the walls, wakes up your senses, and, without meaning to, you've sent your body a signal that it's time to start the day. This is where sleep becomes slippery. Even if you were just making your way to the bathroom, grabbing a sip of water, or checking something quickly, that short exposure to artificial light is enough to press pause on melatonin, the very hormone your body relies on to stay asleep. And in that moment, your brain doesn't see it as a minor interruption. It sees a sunrise. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that keeps your sleep and wake cycles on track, is guided by light. For thousands of years, it evolved to rise with the sun and rest with the darkness. But now, with the flick of a switch, we can override that rhythm in an instant. And for older adults especially, whose melatonin production may already be lower due to age, these interruptions can have an even more noticeable effect. Multiple studies, including those from institutions like Harvard Medical School, confirm that even brief light exposure in the middle of the night can shift your body's sense of time, reduce sleep quality, and increase next-day fatigue. What feels like a small choice can ripple through your rest. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest things to change. Instead of using overhead lighting or even the flashlight on your phone, consider setting up motion-sensitive amber nightlights in key areas: your bedroom, hallway, or bathroom. These warm-toned lights are designed to mimic the soft glow of sunset, gently illuminating your space without disrupting your circadian rhythm. Another helpful strategy is to place a glass of water within reach on your nightstand. That way, if thirst wakes you, you don't have to leave the bed or expose yourself to light at all. Every small decision that reduces stimulation is a gift to your nervous system, a way of saying, "You're safe. You can rest now." Let darkness be your cocoon, not something to fear or escape, but something that holds you gently, quietly, as you drift back into sleep. The world will wait. The light will come. But in this moment, stillness is your medicine. It's easy to underestimate the power of your environment. But the fact of the matter is, your bedroom speaks to your brain in every detail. The light, the temperature, the quiet. And when you set it up with sleep in mind, you invite healing in. One simple change can restore peace. One quiet night can start to rebuild your strength. And one new habit can slowly lead you back to the kind of rest you thought you'd lost. 5. 3 techniques to help you fall back asleep. So now, you know what to avoid when you wake up in the quiet hours of the night. The light, the clock, the phone, the unnecessary movement. But what can you do? Because sometimes, even with the best intentions and a sleep-friendly environment, you still find yourself lying there, eyes open, mind wandering, body restless. This is where you gently shift from frustration to action. Not forceful action, but calming, inward movement. Think of it as guiding your mind back to sleep. One breath, one thought, one release at a time. These are the techniques I've seen work beautifully, especially for older adults. They're simple, soothing, and science-backed. And you can do them right from bed, without needing anything but yourself and a little patience. The first is called 4-7-8 breathing. If your heart is racing, or your thoughts feel jumbled, this is a powerful way to signal your body that it's safe to rest again. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 7, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8. The magic isn't just in the counting, it's in the rhythm. This slows your breathing, engages your parasympathetic nervous system, and lowers your heart rate. It's like a lullaby for your heart. And often, by the 3rd or 4th round, you'll feel a shift, subtle but real, as your body softens into stillness. If your mind continues to race, try a mental redirection. Counting down by 3s from 300 can quiet the chatter. It sounds simple, 300, 297, 294, but that's the beauty of it. This pattern gently pulls your focus away from worry without overstimulating your brain. It doesn't matter if you lose your place. In fact, that's the point. As your brain slows to concentrate, sleep often sneaks in between the numbers. Another wonderful tool is progressive muscle relaxation. Starting with your toes, gently tense the muscles for a few seconds, then release. Move to your feet, then your calves, then your thighs, up through your whole body. You'll begin to notice the contrast between tension and release. It's in that release, that letting go, where sleep begins to bloom again. It's a quiet reminder to your body. You don't need to hold everything right now. You can rest. And if none of these bring you fully back into sleep, don't panic. Your body is still benefiting. You might be experiencing what scientists now call non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. It's a state of calm, quiet, and near sleep that restores energy and focus, like a power nap for your brain. Just lying still, eyes closed, breathing slowly, it's enough to reduce stress, lower cortisol, and prepare you for a better day ahead. You don't need to force yourself to sleep. You only need to invite it back in, with kindness, with calm, and with tools that remind your body how to rest. These quiet hours don't have to feel like a curse. They can become a sacred space of peace, of slowing down, tuning in, and finding rest again, right where you are. Just because you've opened your eyes in the middle of the night doesn't mean all hope is lost. Waking up doesn't have to mean the night is ruined. With the right approach, gentle, mindful, and calming, your body can relearn how to drift back to sleep, not through willpower, but through understanding, through trust, through small shifts that guide you back to the quiet rhythm of rest. Try even one of these changes tonight. Maybe you leave the clock turned around. Maybe you put your phone a little farther away. Maybe you try the 4-7-8 breathing or count down softly from 300. Whatever you choose, give it space. Let it work gently, not urgently. You deserve better sleep. Not just because it's good for your body, but because it's vital to your spirit. And the truth is, Many older adults just like you are learning that good sleep isn't gone. It's just waiting to be welcomed back. But if your struggles continue, if you feel tired all day, snore loudly, or wake gasping for air, it may be time to check for something deeper. Conditions like sleep apnea often go undiagnosed, especially in older adults. A simple conversation with your doctor or a home sleep test can make all the difference. Today, it's easier than ever to find answers and relief. Sleep is healing. Sleep is strength. Sleep is hope. And even if it's been slipping away lately, it's not beyond your reach. You are not broken. You are not alone. With a little awareness, a little preparation, and a lot of compassion for yourself, better nights and brighter mornings can begin again. Starting tonight. If this helped you, or you know someone else who needs better rest, please share it. And don't forget to subscribe for more thoughtful tips designed especially for you.